Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoy my video today, please do subscribe, hit the button below, and then you'll be notified of when I'm back on again. I am here regularly, and I do like to share with you stuff that I think you can do at home for sure, things that we do in class so you can see what I do when I do my classes, and kind of everything in between, the bits I do when I'm just playing as well. So this week I have been playing with Free Skate, which is it was the one that drew me in the catalogue, in my heart. This is my heart stamp set, okay, for this catalogue, because I used to skate and I used to really enjoy that. And that's not the right dies that go with it. These are the right dies that go with it. And so when I saw it, I just loved it, but I couldn't see how I would make it necessarily fit into my class schedule. So I thought, no, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. And then I had the opportunity to get it, and I just thought, oh, do you know what? I have to get it. And I have loved playing with this so much this week. So it's called Free Skate. It comes with a set of dies which are called the Detailed Skate dies, and these are beautiful, 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 beautiful. They have some lovely pieces. Obviously, they have the skate, which is, kind of handy, so you can cut out the skate. Also cuts out the holly, which I wish I'd knew about last week when I did one of my cards up on my blog. Never mind. It also has this beautiful banner piece. It has a ribbon, the actual skate blade piece, and then a filigreed piece, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you more of in a bit. So that's the Free Skate set that I've been using, but I've also been using these, which are the Heirloom dies. So these are the Heirloom frames, 3D embossing folders, and these are the Heirloom frame dies. Now the dies aren't very exciting, to be fair. They are just literally a big oval, like so. Okay, and on the other side of this piece of card, there's a big square, well, rectangle. So that's it. So what you do is you cut out a piece of these, and then you run them through the two separate embossing folders. So you have an oval embossing folder and a square or rectangular embossing folder, okay, like that. And they are just stunning. I mean, I didn't really appreciate them when they were in the catalogue. I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of understand it, but do I really, what would I use them for, etc.? Well, we're going to show you what we're going to use them for, but here's an example of one where I've paired the two together, just so that you can see what the possibilities are. Okay, so here's the skate, and then here in the background, this is that oval frame. Isn't that glorious? Just so decadent. Quite Victoriana as well, I think. Especially because I've gilded it, so I've made it look very kind of Victorian-y looking, I think. You could do a cameo in there of a silhouette. Oh, so many things that you could do. So anyway, so I thought we'd do a couple of things. First of all, I'll show you how to use these in case you get them and you're not quite sure what to do with them. And then we'll move on and we'll make a card with the Free Skate. So the important thing to note about these is that they are the new 3D embossing folders, okay, and they are really deep embossing, but they're also a slightly different thickness to the old Sizzix ones that we had, okay. So you can either create some shims, which is what I did to start off with, or you can buy the new 3D embossing plate, which goes in your Big Shot. So even though we don't do the Big Shot anymore, we do this plate because we need that for these new dies. So without further ado, let's get on and do some dies and some folder work. So I've got various bits. I've gone for different colours just so that you've got an opportunity to see them, because sometimes on the darker colours they don't show on camera so well. So we're going quite bright. Okay, and we'll look at it in two ways. So the first thing that I would recommend is do not try and emboss and then cut. Always cut first. Okay, so take this bit off your sticky bit, which is always the tricky bit. Even though they're supposed to not be as sticky as they used to be, this one is really sticky. What is going on? There we go. Oh, it's come off on here. No, that's not helpful. Just chat amongst yourselves for a minute. It's got really stuck on there. There we go. Peel that off. Stick that back on there. I'll put these on magnets shortly. And then we won't have that trouble. Right, okay, so that's that. So first of all, you're going to take a piece of card and you're actually going to cut it out. So you could use a scrap piece. It doesn't have to be a nice piece like this, but I'm going to try and pop it back in when it's been chopped, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try and re-inlay it back. Okay, just to see if I can. So the first thing you would do is what you normally do. You have to excuse my plates. I still don't have new ones. I need to go get new ones. So the first thing is you just run that straight through your die cutting machine. Okay, whichever one you got, run it through. There we go. And then that cuts you out 3 pieces. Okay. So just pop that down there again. There we go. So you're left with 3 pieces. You're left with the outside frame, okay, which if it was on a scrap piece of card, this, you know, you just discard this, you don't need that. Then you've got the inner frame, which is the important bit, and then you've got the inset piece. So you could see that you could do this in different colours, and then you'd have an inset piece that fitted in Whisper White, for example, which you could stamp on, etc. But I'm just going to show you what you then do with this piece. Okay, so we'll get rid of those. So with this piece, you take your embossing folder and you line up this with this. Now it's going to indent that way, so it's going to go in that way, and you can turn it over, and that's the great thing with these embossing folders is you can see through them. So you just need to carefully line that up like so. I mean, to be honest, I would even consider at this point putting a little tiny piece of tape, but it has to go literally right at that corner because you don't want it interfering with any of the pretty designs that you're going to get when you emboss. See that? So I've done just top and bottom corner, so that when that goes through, you can see that that's going to emboss right in the middle of that frame. That's what you're after. Okay, so then bring the big shot back up. Now, if you've got the plates from us, then you will have a base platform, a thin cutting plate and 2 plates. You need to get rid of everything apart from your base platform. These are so thick. So base platform, embossing folder, embossing plate, 3D embossing plate. And you only need this with the 3D ones, okay? And they're clearly marked in the catalogue which ones they are. Run that through. And then when you open it up, I mean, you can see already how this is going. And then if you just carefully take off your washi tape, there we go. You know, and I don't normally recommend putting washi tape in, but if you struggle, especially when I'm on camera, if you struggle keeping things together, then a little bit of washi tape is not going to hurt anybody as long as you place it correctly. And then you get that. Look at that. It's like just delightful. See how, oops. See how deep that is? Can you see that? It's just delicious, and it's beautiful actually on both sides, but this is the side that's supposed to be, you know, placed. So then you could put that back into your frame if you wanted to, do you know what I mean, like that, so it looks like it's part of the whole base, or you could attach it separately. I would recommend that you attach it with dimensionals underneath, because it is, you know, it does sort of stick up a bit, so you want to keep that, although this one's actually flatter than the oval. The oval one really had a big depth to it. It was almost curved that way as well. Yeah, so see, this one here had some real depth underneath there. This was sort of close to the card, but this top piece was like really lifted off, and I didn't want to squash any of that and put it flat, so I put that up on dimensionals, and that worked really well. This one's a little flatter, you can see from the embossing, it's just a little thinner, so that one you could probably glue straight down. But aren't they just gorgeous? And just, you know, for framing things on your cardstock, so if you wanted to have a piece of cardstock and then you just pop that on top. I mean, just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Or turn it into a topper and put it on, you know, put a back on it, and put it on as a topper to a different card base. Just beautiful. So I wanted to show you those, but I wanted to show you now another way of doing it. So if you just take a completely flat piece of cardstock, this is the 13.9 by 9.5, and you're just going to line up your line. See here, there's this line on the back of this embossing folder. If you line your cardstock up with that and make sure it's central, then you automatically get a beautiful frame, and you can just pop that straight through your embossing, through your Big Shot with your embossing folder, and then with your 3D embossing plate, and when you finish you get one that looks like this. So I've done that with this. Obviously it's slightly bent because it's lifted the embossing piece up, so you know you'd have to glue that flat again. Slight creasing on the corners, but nothing major, and to be honest, if you spray it, apparently that helps, but I didn't spray it, so there you go. And I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks great. So I'm going to show you now how to make a card using this frame and the free skate. So the first thing we're going to need is some card. Where's my card for stamping on? That would be helpful. Here we go. So I'm going to use this because we need this. So keep that in my little magic box. My little magic box of things. I learnt that trick from Rhonda Wade. She said always have a magic box with stuff on it, and then that way you can't lose anything, which is a really good tip if you're videoing and you don't want to lose anything while you're doing stuff. Okay, so then I'm going to take my big stamp, which is my skate stamp, and I'm going to just stamp that in Memento. This is a very, very quick card. So stamp that in Memento and then die cut that out, okay, using the dies. But wait, in my magic box, here's one I did earlier. So here we go. So I've just die cut that out, and you can immediately see how pretty that looks. But it does stand out against the frame quite nicely. And I know it's bigger than the frame and everyone's like, oh, it's got to go inside the frame. Why does it have to go inside the frame? It could just be that the frame is mounting it like a trophy or something. That's how I'm looking at it. And then I've used the other elements of the die set to cut out some ribbon in Melon Mambo, because you know Melon Mambo is gorgeous with skating. And then I've used the silver foil just to cut out the little blade, because the blade has to be metallic, right? Obviously. So let's just finish this off because I want to glue it, but I want to do the laces first. So you see here you've got the laces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Melon Mambo pen, my little marker, right marker. You could use a blend or anything you like, but we don't have melon. I don't think we've got Melon Mambo as a blend. And anyway, it's small enough that we can just use our markers and get in the detailed lines. Now I'm doing this with my right marker. You could obviously use, as I say, a blend, but you could also use your Wink of Stella, but I'm going to do this and then get over with my Wink of Stella. Just actually, this is, I might even be able to do it with this end quicker. Yeah, here we go. That other end is really for writing, I think, and going into really tiny places, but this one's good size for these laces. And I used to have different coloured laces for my skates. It was great. I used to love skating. There we go. Learn something new about Pip every day. Who knew she used to be an ice skater? Yes, and I could twirl and everything. It's great fun. Did fall on my backside quite a lot. Now this is quite fiddly to glue, so I've decided and learned that actually it's much easier if you glue onto here. She says if her glue will come out. Come on. It's got jammed up. There we go. I was using it quite a lot yesterday. So there we go. So just glue straight along, and it does go up the edges. It goes up to these to the base of the shoe, as it were. So glue along there, and then position your foiling over the top. It's my top tip of the day, and it even has the little jaggedy bits for where you break. If you don't know what they're for, that's what they're for. You dig them into the ice and it stops you. Okay. Quite suddenly if you're not careful. So, but you can use them to drag along as well if you want to. Right, okay, so that's that. And then I've discovered the best way to do the bow is to put a little bit of glue at the top here. Okay, just on those bits, and then glue down here. Don't need to worry about the middle pieces because they tend to stay stuck, but these tend to sort of bounce up and down a bit, I've realised. So just do that, and then position the bow where it would go at the front of the laces, like so. There we go. So cute. So cute. Right, so now we need my base. Where's my base? And I've decided that I'm going to put this on basic grey because obviously that's just a beautiful colour that matches pink so well. Look at that. Isn't that coming together nicely? I've got my scored piece of thick Whisper White. I always use thick because it gives you a nice solid base to work from. And it stands nicely because I like mine tenfold. So then we'll just pop these on. But before we stick everything down, I'm going to stamp in here. Now I have my Melon Mambo ink pad. And because I can see where I'm going to go Warmest Winter Wishes. Make sure it's got some ink on it, yep. And then stamp straight down in the centre here. This is the, take a deep breath, let it out. There, see? Perfect. That's so nice. Right, so now we can start putting everything together. So we'll start by putting our Whisper White embossed piece. And this, as I say, you need to make sure, I would use a wet glue or a tape, something that's going to hold it quite firmly down because of that embossing bounce, as I call it. And then maybe a little bit in the middle there. Don't want to actually stick the embossed piece because obviously it's embossed, so you don't want to squash it. So we'll just pop that there. Make sure that the top's nice. Yeah, it just draws it in just that little bit, but we can cope with that. There we go. Then we're going to glue that straight onto our base. I mean, this is a real simple card. It's just the, this is like one of my Simply Stylish cards. It's just the cutting out and embossing that takes a bit of time, but not too much. There we go. This might even be one of my Simply Stylish cards at my next one. Who knows? Because it is lovely, isn't it? There we go. And the thing about these skates is they don't just have to be for Christmas. I mean, I know the sentiments are for Christmas, but if you've got somebody who does skate, if you have a skater in the family, then you could do some scrapbooking with them. You could do birthday cards for somebody who loves to skate. You know, this is a great all-round set, really. Now, I'm going to just... we need something that's going to fit along there. So we're going to use some minis. Even though they're slightly different height, they'll be going across the embossed bit, so that should be okay. We'll just pop these in here. And they're dinky. No, that should be enough, to be honest, because it's not going to get squished that much. As long as the main part of it is done, I think that'll be fine. So, there we go. Not as many as my normal. Normally I'd have them all the way along there, but we'll see. Hopefully this will be alright. I might live to regret it. Might get a soggy middle. Okay. So then positioning your skate how you want it on your base. There we go. Isn't that cute? And then what I've decided is it's nice to finish off the tops of these. And I've been using my holiday rhinestone. That one's nearly gone. My holiday rhinestones. Yes, here we go. So I could do a nice pink one to go with the Melon Mambo, or you could just use a plain rhinestone, but I like these coloured ones. And and they're kind of, these are the, actually no, these are the Noble Peacock ones. Oh, I must get myself some more. Yeah, these are the Noble Peacock ones. So, but they work too. I love the way everything just coordinates. There we go. There, see? So that's a quick tutorial, very quick, hopefully. Yeah, less than 30 minutes. Marvellous. How to use the embossing, the 3D embossing heirloom die. Well, it's embossing and dies at the same time, isn't it? So that's the thing, because you get the dies to cut them out too. So we've got the skates that we've used. Oh, I was going to show you these pieces here. Let me show you these pieces. So I'll give you a sneak peek of something I'm doing tomorrow. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? So this is just like a bit of holly, like a wreath, but straight, if you see what I mean. So it's just like a strip of holly, but it's so beautiful. So that's what that does. And then obviously you've seen the bow, you've seen the little skate. This is for the holly, and this is the detailed die that does this filigree skate. So you can either have the plain skate or the filigree skate. I like both of them. And then of course you have the two embossing folders here. So this is the square one, or rectangular one, this is the oval one. And they're much bigger than the picture, obviously, as you can see. And they come out just beautifully, really beautifully. So, and it comes as a bundle. Well, both of them come as a bundle. So you can get the skates as a bundle with their dies, and you can get the embossing folders as a bundle with the dies that go with those. Okay, so you get both these and these in the heirloom bundle. No, I'm not saying that right. I'm not saying that right. So you get these together, and then you can bundle it with the stamp set as well, I believe. But this comes together, so you get the cut and emboss. So you get the cutting and the embossing all as one kit. So that's why it looks more expensive in the catalogue, because you're actually getting the dies and the embossing folders together. Then if you want to, you can add on the heirloom stamp set from the main catalogue and get that with 10% off. So you can do that. And then the skates come as a bundle, as you would expect, with their stamps and with the stamps and their dies. And you get this beautiful snowflake here and some really lovely sentiments. Capture the memories of the season. That's lovely. It's that wonderful time of the year, and warmest winter wishes, which I've used on both of these cards. I mean, just lovely sentiments. So yeah, two great bundles, all the details below. Grab them out of my shop before they disappear. Everything that's in the autumn winter catalogue is now while stocks last. Obviously the heirlooms are going to be around for a while because they're in the annual catalogue, so that's good. But yeah, just if you want to make skating part of your Christmas designs this year, and why wouldn't you, then grab those out of the catalogue, out of my shop. All the links are below. And also subscribe. Come and visit me again. It's lovely to see you. I love all my new subscribers and everybody who's been with me from the start. You guys are just amazing. So yeah, thanks ever so much for watching today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Alrighty, take care now. Bye bye.